Your car is shaking at a red light. The check engine light is flashing. Or maybe the engine feels weak when you press the gas. The RPM keeps bouncing up and down. Or the car stalls right when you come to a stop. And the first thing most people will default to is, I need a new fuel pump. Or the catalytic converter is bad. Or this transmission is about to fail. But you don't have to be them. Which is why before you start replacing expensive parts, you need to understand that a lot of cars are not just dying because a major part has failed. They are dying because the engine computer is getting bad information from dirty sensors. These sensors are small, but they control how much air, fuel, and timing your engine gets. And when they get covered in dust, oil vapor, carbon buildup, or exhaust deposits, your car can start acting like it has a serious mechanical problem. That is how people end up replacing fuel pumps, spark plugs, ignition coils, fuel injectors, throttle bodies, catalytic converters, and even transmission parts, when the real problem could have started with one dirty sensor. So in this video, I'll show you 4 overlooked sensors and idle control parts that can cause rough idle, hesitation, stalling, poor fuel economy, jerking, and check engine lights. And let me be clear here, cleaning will not fix every car. If a sensor is electrically dead, broken internally, or the wiring is damaged, that part may still need to be replaced. But cleaning and checking these parts first is one of the smartest diagnostic steps you can take before throwing money at random parts. The first sensor is one of the most common causes of hesitation, poor fuel economy, and that annoying jerking feeling when you press the gas. And if you have a lean code like P0171, this is one of the first places I would look. That sensor is the mass air flow sensor, also called the MAF sensor. The MAF sensor is usually located between the air filter box and the throttle body, right inside the intake tube. Its job is to measure how much air is entering the engine. Once the engine computer knows how much air is coming in, it decides how much fuel to add. So when the MAF sensor is clean and reading correctly, the engine gets the right air and fuel mixture. But when the MAF sensor gets dirty, the reading becomes inaccurate. And once the computer gets the wrong air reading, the fuel mixture becomes wrong too. That is when the problems begin. You may notice hesitation during acceleration. You press the gas, but the car feels delayed, weak, or confused. Sometimes it jerks forward. Sometimes it feels like it wants to stall. Sometimes it drives normally for a few minutes, then suddenly starts acting up again. You may also notice poor fuel economy because the computer is trying to correct a bad reading from the MAF sensor. Another common sign is a lean code, especially P0171 or P0174. A lean code means the computer thinks the engine has too much air and not enough fuel. But that does not automatically mean the fuel pump is bad, and it also does not automatically mean your injectors are clogged, nor does it automatically mean you need to start replacing expensive fuel system parts because a dirty MAF sensor can trick the computer into making the wrong fuel adjustment, of which cleaning can help. To clean it, make sure the ignition is off. Then disconnect the electrical connector and remove the MAF sensor from the intake tube. Once it is out, spray the sensing wires or sensor element using only mass airflow sensor cleaner. Do not use brake cleaner, carb cleaner, or wipe it with a rag. And do not touch the tiny wires with your fingers or a brush. The MAF sensor is delicate. If you spray it with the wrong chemical or physically touch the sensor element, you can damage it. Use a proper MAF cleaner, spray it several times from different angles, and then let it air dry completely before reinstalling it. Also, do not forget to check the parts around it. If your air filter is extremely dirty, replace it. If the intake hose has a crack after the MAF sensor, unmetered air can enter the engine and cause similar lean symptoms. And if the connector is loose or corroded, the sensor may still act up even after cleaning. Now, the next sensor is even sneakier because it can make your car stall at a stoplight, and many people blame the fuel pump, throttle body, or transmission first. That sensor is the MAP sensor. MAP stands for Manifold Absolute Pressure. Unlike the MAF sensor, which measures air coming through the intake tube, the MAP sensor reads pressure inside the intake manifold. This helps the engine computer understand engine load. In simple terms, it helps the computer know how hard the engine is working so it can adjust fuel and timing. The MAP sensor is usually mounted on or near the intake manifold. On many cars, it is held in place with 1 or 2 screws and has a small port that sits inside the manifold. And that tiny port is where the problem usually starts. Over time, carbon, oil vapor, and grime can clog the opening. Once that port is blocked, the sensor can no longer read manifold pressure correctly. Think of it like your car trying to breathe through a straw that is partially blocked. The engine may still run, but the computer is not getting a clear signal, so it starts making bad decisions with fuel and timing. A dirty map sensor can cause rough idle. The engine may shake when parked. The RPM may dip low like the engine is about to shut off. The car may stall when coming to a stop, especially after driving and then stopping at a red light. This is why someone can say, "My car drives okay on the road, but when I slow down or stop, it wants to shut off." That does not always mean the transmission is bad. It does not always mean the fuel pump is dying. Sometimes the computer is simply getting a bad pressure reading from a dirty map sensor. This can happen on many vehicles, including BMW, Honda, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Nissan, Hyundai, Kia, and other high-mileage cars, where oil vapor from the PCV system builds up inside the intake. To clean the map sensor, remove it carefully from the intake manifold. Then look at the small hole or port. If you see carbon buildup, oily residue, or black grime inside that opening, that is what you need to clean. Use an electronics cleaner or a sensor safe cleaner. Spray inside the port gently and let the dirt drain out. But do not stick a screwdriver, needle, drill bit, or metal tool inside the sensor. You are not trying to scrape it like a dirty bolt. You are trying to clean it without damaging the internal parts. Let the sensor dry completely before reinstalling it. Also check the rubber seal or O-ring. If the O-ring is damaged, cracked, missing, or not seated properly, it can create a vacuum leak. And if that happens, the car may still idle badly even after the sensor is clean. A dirty MAP sensor can cause rough idle, poor acceleration, stalling, hard starting, and bad fuel economy. However, the key thing to remember is that the map sensor does not have to be completely dead to cause problems. It can still send a signal, but the signal may be wrong because the port is clogged. And that is exactly why cleaning it can make such a big difference. Now, if your RPM is bouncing while the car is parked, this next part is where I would look before blaming the transmission. The third part is not exactly a sensor. It is more of an idle control valve or actuator, but it is one of the most important idle control components on many older vehicles. That part is the idle air control valve, also called the IAC valve. The IAC valve controls how much air bypasses the throttle plate when your foot is not on the gas pedal. When you are parked, idling, or sitting at a red light, the throttle plate is mostly closed, but the engine still needs air to keep running. The IAC valve allows a controlled amount of air to pass through so the engine can maintain a steady idle. When the IAC valve is clean, the idle stays smooth and stable. But when carbon builds up around the valve, plunger, or air passage, the engine can no longer control idle properly. That is when you see the RPM hunting. The RPM goes up, then down, then up again. The engine may surge while parked. It may idle too high, idle too low, or stall when you turn on the air conditioning. Sometimes the car starts fine, but the idle feels rough once the engine warms up. Sometimes it stalls when you shift from park to drive. And sometimes it jerks so badly when you put it into gear that people start thinking the transmission is failing. But in that situation, the transmission may not be the problem. The car may only be jerking because the engine idle is unstable. That is an important difference. A dirty IAC valve can feel like a transmission issue because the car may shake or jerk when you shift into drive, but the real problem is the engine is not controlling idle correctly. This is especially common on older vehicles that still use a separate IAC valve. Newer cars may not have one because many newer vehicles use an electronic throttle body to control idle instead. So if your vehicle does not have an IAC valve, the equivalent step may be cleaning the throttle body instead. But if your car does have an IAC valve, this is one of the most overlooked causes of rough idle and RPM bouncing. To clean it, locate the IAC valve. It is often mounted near the throttle body. Make sure the ignition is off, disconnect the electrical connector, remove the screws, and take the valve out carefully. You want to clean the plunger, the tip, and the air passages inside the housing. Use throttle body cleaner or the correct cleaner for that part. Spray the carbon buildup and wipe the outer area gently with a clean cloth. If the passage inside the throttle body is dirty, clean that area too. But be careful. Do not force the plunger in and out. Do not twist it aggressively. Do not drop the valve. Some IAC valves are sensitive, and if you damage the moving part, cleaning will not help anymore. After cleaning, let it dry and reinstall it. On some vehicles, the idle may need a few minutes to relearn. You may start the car and notice the idle is slightly different at first. Let the engine run, turn the steering wheel, turn the air conditioning on and off, and allow the computer to stabilize the idle again. If your RPM was bouncing before and it becomes stable after cleaning, that tells you the valve or passage was likely part of the problem. So if your car is idling up and down while parked, do not ignore the IAC valve or throttle body area. Now the last sensor is different from the first three. This is not the sensor I recommend spraying and scrubbing like an MAF or MAP sensor, but it is one that many drivers ignore until their fuel economy drops badly and the car starts wasting money every week at the gas station. That sensor is the Upstream oxygen sensor. The Upstream oxygen sensor, also called the Upstream O2 sensor or air-fuel ratio sensor on some vehicles, is located in the exhaust before the catalytic converter. Its job is to monitor the oxygen level in the exhaust so the engine computer can adjust the air and fuel mixture. This sensor is extremely important because it helps the computer decide whether the engine is running rich or lean. If the Upstream O2 sensor is slow, contaminated, or giving inaccurate ratings, the computer may add too much fuel or not enough fuel. And when that happens, you may suddenly lose fuel economy. One of the biggest signs of a possible Upstream O2 sensor problem is losing 5 to 10 miles per gallon without changing your driving habits. You are filling up more often, the car feels a little weaker, and sometimes the exhaust smell changes. If the car is running rich for too long, you may also notice a rotten egg smell from the exhaust. But be careful with this one. A rotten egg smell often points to the catalytic converter being overloaded, a rich running condition, or fuel-related issues. So do not blame the O2 sensor alone. The O2 sensor can contribute if it causes wrong fuel correction, but it is not the only possible cause. You may also get check engine light codes related to the oxygen sensor, fuel trims, or catalytic converter efficiency. But here is where a lot of people make a mistake. If you see an O2 sensor code, it does not always mean the O2 sensor itself is bad. Sometimes the O2 sensor is only reporting a problem caused by something else: a vacuum leak, dirty MAF sensor, dirty MAP sensor, exhaust leak, engine misfire, fuel pressure issue, or leaking injector can all affect O2 sensor readings. That is why the O2 sensor should be diagnosed carefully. Unlike an MAF sensor or MAP sensor, I do not recommend treating the Upstream O2 sensor like a normal part that you remove, spray, wipe, and reinstall. Oxygen sensors are delicate. If you use the wrong chemical, damage the tip, contaminate the sensor, or damage the wiring, you can create a bigger problem. So for most people, the safer no-remove method is using a quality fuel system cleaner or catalytic converter cleaner in the fuel tank. But understand what that means. A fuel additive does not directly scrub the O2 sensor like you are cleaning a dirty throttle body. It may help reduce deposits in the combustion and exhaust system over time, especially if the issue is mild contamination. But if the sensor is slow, electrically bad, physically damaged, or the heater circuit has failed, a fuel additive will not bring it back to life. If your code points to an O2 sensor heater circuit problem, cleaning is usually not the answer. Many oxygen sensors have a built-in heater that helps the sensor reach operating temperature quickly. If that heater circuit is blown, the sensor usually needs to be replaced after you confirm the wiring, fuse, and connector are good. And if you decide to remove the sensor manually, let the engine and exhaust cool first. The exhaust gets extremely hot, and an O2 sensor sits directly in that hot exhaust stream. Use the correct O2 sensor socket. Disconnect the electrical connector carefully and avoid twisting or damaging the wires. But again, manual cleaning is not the main fix I would push here. The smarter approach is to check the O2 sensor data, check the fuel trims, inspect for exhaust leaks, inspect the wiring, and replace the sensor if it is actually slow, contaminated beyond recovery, or electrically failed. A lazy upstream O2 sensor can quietly make your car burn more fuel than it should. And if the engine runs too rich for too long, it can also put stress on the catalytic converter. That is why you should not diagnose the catalytic converter before checking what is happening before the exhaust reaches it. A dirty MAF sensor, clogged MAP sensor, unstable idle control valve, vacuum leak, misfire, or bad upstream O2 reading can all cause the engine to run incorrectly. And when the engine runs incorrectly for too long, the catalytic converter can suffer. So before you blame the converter, check the sensors and systems that control the air and fuel mixture first. Now, before you clean or check any of these parts, let me give you a few simple rules. First, make sure the ignition is off before unplugging sensors. Second, use the correct cleaner for the correct part. MAF sensor cleaner is for the MAF sensor. Throttle body cleaner is for the throttle body and some IAC areas. Electronics cleaner can be used for some sensor-safe cleaning, but do not use random chemicals just because they are sitting in your garage. Third, let the part dry completely before reinstalling it. Fourth, inspect the connector and wiring. Sometimes the sensor is clean, but the connector is loose, corroded, broken, or full of oil. And fifth, do not expect cleaning to fix a physically broken or electrically failed sensor. Cleaning is not magic. It is a cheap diagnostic step. If the symptom improves after cleaning, you just learned something before buying parts. A quick recap. The first sensor is the MAF sensor. Clean it if your car hesitates, jerks during acceleration, has poor fuel economy, or shows lean codes like P0171 or P0174. Use only MAF cleaner and never touch the sensing element. The second sensor is the MAP sensor. Clean it if your car has a rough idle, stalls when stopping, starts hard, or feels like it is choking at low speed. Pay close attention to the tiny port because that is where carbon buildup blocks the reading. The third part is the IAC valve, or idle control system. Check it if your RPM is hunting, bouncing, idling too high, idling too low, or the car stalls when parked or when shifting into drive. On newer vehicles, you may need to clean the electronic throttle body instead. The fourth sensor is the upstream O2 sensor. Check it if your fuel economy suddenly drops, the exhaust smells rich, or you are getting fuel trim or oxygen sensor codes. But remember, this is not cleaned like a normal sensor. If the heater circuit is bad or the sensor is slow and has failed, replacement is usually the proper fix. A lot of car problems look expensive at first, but sometimes the engine is not failing, the transmission is not dying, and the catalytic converter should not be the first part you replace. Sometimes the car is simply getting bad information from dirty sensors or restricted idle control parts, and when the computer gets bad information, it makes bad decisions. That is when the engine starts shaking, stalling, burning too much fuel, hesitating, jerking, and triggering warning lights. So before you start replacing expensive parts, check these areas first. Clean what can be cleaned. Inspect the wiring. Scan the codes. Look at the symptoms. Then drive the car and see what changes. If the symptoms disappear, you may have just saved hundreds of dollars with a simple diagnostic step. Now I want to know from you, which of these was the dirtiest on your car? Was it the MAF sensor, the MAP sensor, the idle air control valve, or did you find out your upstream O2 sensor was the reason your fuel economy dropped? Drop your car model and mileage in the comments because that can help other drivers dealing with the same symptoms. And if you want a deeper step-by-step guide, watch this next video here on how to clean a MAP sensor properly. Also, like this video, share it with someone dealing with rough idle or poor fuel economy, and subscribe to the channel for more simple car diagnostic tips like this.